They threw every trick in the book at him, but he wasn't reading their book. He was writing his own. And these are the Verrine Orations. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Verrine Orations, Episode 3, Divination. And I don't mean what most people mean when they use that word. It usually has something to do with asking the gods what's going to happen next. People in the ancient Mediterranean were pretty superstitious, and the Romans were no exception. They might practice the art of divination any number of ways. They might read the Sibylline books. They might sacrifice a cow and look to see if it had spots on his river. Or, everyone's favorite, they might scatter seed in front of the flock of sacred chickens and see if they eat anything. You may laugh, but that one really works. Don't forget Publius Claudius Pulcher, commander of the Roman navy, who got so mad when the sacred chickens wouldn't give him the answer he wanted, he threw them overboard and led his fleet straight into battle. Straight into the Carthaginian fleet, which inflicted on Rome one of the most devastating naval defeats of all time. Don't mess with the sacred chickens. At any event, the divination we're talking about has nothing to do with asking the gods what's going to happen next, and everything to do with persuading judges what they should do next. This is rhetorical divination, a special Roman legal proceeding called in Latin divinatio. The idea is this: there were no public prosecutors in the ancient world. In Rome, if you thought someone committed a crime against you, you would have to bring the prosecution yourself. But what if the person you want to prosecute harmed someone else too? What if that other victim wants to be the prosecutor and thinks you're not up to it? The Romans had a way to solve this kind of dispute. That was the legal proceeding called divinatio. And in the divinatio, prosecutors would stand up in front of a group of judges and try to persuade them to pick the right person to bring the case. The divinatio against Quintus Caecilius is the first of these speeches that we call the Verrine Orations, and it is the only example of a divinatio speech that has survived from ancient times. All the others are lost. We're lucky we have this one because it tells an amazing story. See, news had gotten round about what Verres had done in Sicily. He was well known by the time he got back to Rome. But he had stolen a lot of money, too, and was willing to spend it on Rome's leading trial lawyer, Quintus Hortensius Hortalus. Remember Hortensius? He's going to be the next consul of Rome. Hiring him as your lawyer is sort of like hiring the president. Okay, not this president, maybe a different one who might actually do a good job. Yeah, like this one. Anyway, Hortensius was smart enough to know that his best chance was to beat Cicero long before the case ever got to the jury. And Hortensius's first technique was simply to get rid of Cicero, legally, using divination. So Hortensius hired a young man named Quintus Caecilius to challenge Cicero's right to prosecute Verres. Caecilius says, "Hey, let me do it." But Caecilius was Verres' quaestor in Sicily and stayed friends with him. So if Caecilius is Verres' prosecutor, he can help Verres out by doing a really bad job prosecuting him and get paid a lot of money to do that bad job. Everyone wins, except the Sicilians. So our speech, the Divinatio in Quintum Caecilium, is Cicero saying, "Hey, I'm the right guy. Let me tell you why. Let me show you why." And Cicero does exactly that. This speech gives us a pretty good example of what you need to do to be a great public speaker. There are so many reasons why I love this speech. You should read it yourself. It's not that long. I could go on about it all day, but I'm only going to talk about three things. First, my favorite argument, the dilemma. Second, an orator's skills. Third, the Senate's self-interest. Okay, let's start with my favorite argument, the dilemma. A dilemma argument is where you set up for your opponent a choice between two bad options. Here's how Cicero describes the argument. He's taunting Caecilius about what Hortensius is going to do to him if he's the one that gets picked. Don't worry, I'll translate the Latin.
Caecilius, I can see it now, how Hortensius will trick you, how he'll toss you about in every possible way. How many times will he use against you the power and the choice, where you have to pick whether something did or didn't happen? True or false? Your choice. Whichever one you choose, you lose.
Okay, so that's how Cicero described how a dilemma argument works. But to be a real master, you can't just describe it, you have to do it. So Cicero demonstrates. Let me explain. As part of the Divinatio, Caecilius had to say why he wanted to prosecute Verres instead of Cicero. Problem: Caecilius had been Verres' quaestor, his financial helper, and quaestors are supposed to stick by the governors they work for. So Caecilius claims Verres wronged him. Cicero takes full advantage of this bit of awkward. He says, "Sure, let's talk about how Verres wronged you, Caecilius." Then Cicero tells about how Caecilius was trying to steal money this time, and it was so outrageous that even Verres had to make him stop. And now comes Cicero demonstrating the dilemma.
You say Verres injured you. Okay, agreed. But you say he wronged you. Nope. And about that wrong that was supposedly done to you? No one could avenge that wrong better than you yourself, the supposed victim. So if after Verres wronged you, you somehow became friends with him again, you were a guest in his home, and you ate at his table? Tell us now, are you a faithless friend or a liar? Which do you choose? Go ahead. Choose whichever one you wish.
Yeah, think of that as a Ciceronian tell and show. Look, here's what Hortensius is going to do to you. Oh, hey, I just did it to you. Okay, now point two, an orator's skills. This one needs no background. It's just good advice for anyone who ever has to make a speech. I'm a trial lawyer, and I'm always thinking about this passage and trying to find ways to use it. I'll skip around and hit the high points of what Cicero said. I'll do it in English.
As for you, Caecilius, what? What can you do? It hasn't even entered your mind how much work it is to try a case, has it? You have to explain another man's whole life, and you have to unfold it not just so they get it in their heads. You have to make them see it as if it happened right in front of them.
Good advice. Okay, here comes the third topic, appealing to the Senate's self-interest. Remember the last episode when Sulla was trying to put the Republic back together by saying only senators could be jurors on extortion courts? Well, 10 years have passed since then, and Sulla's new rules are less and less popular. Pompey and Crassus are the consuls now. They're warlords, and they want to be popular. They might favor a new rule that someone's proposed that would take the control of the extortion courts away from the senators and make it so that people from every class of Roman citizen could sit in judgment of corrupt governors. Senators don't like that. Cicero takes full advantage. His argument goes like this: pick Caecilius instead of me, and everyone will know how corrupt you are, and that law will pass. It's pretty audacious. Save yourself. Pick me. I'm your only hope. Let me translate.
Judges, it's up to you. Which one of us do you really believe can save not just this prosecution, but this court as well? Which has the work ethic, the training, the reputation? Pick Caecilius instead of me? I won't lose on the merits, but the people of Rome will know that a prosecution as important as notorious, as popular as this one was not to your taste. And not just you, not to the taste of the entire senatorial cast. Be careful.
Whoa, Cicero. What are you suggesting? Revolution if you don't win? Well, there was no revolution, not this time. The judges chose wisely. They chose Cicero. Cicero won the Divinatio. And in the next episode, we'll look at the first part of the real trial and see how Cicero pulled off yet another totally audacious move. See you next time in part 4 of the Verrine Orations.